And Lainey Wu just joined us too. How fun.
Mhm.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
lady.
Hi, Lainey.
Hi.
Hi.
Happy day. Happy full
Happy
moon.
Happy
day.
happy full moon.
Happy full
Happy full
moon.
moon in Sagittarius. I have to
Yes.
tell you, it has been so interesting. So I wake up about 4:30 in the morning, and as soon as I woke up, the first thing I did was grab the computer because it's like, oh, I have to you know, make sure that all of our things are posted because of the different time zones. And I was so excited about our launch today. So happy launch day.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah.
launch day.
I like this, Melindy. Ooh. And thank you so much for joining me. I know it was last minute. Oh, I do see
Hey,
us on the thing. Oh, look at that. There we are.
Solana. Hi, Solana.
Hi. Don't you look beautiful?
Hello,
Well,
everyone. Hello.
hello.
Greetings.
And this is like Lainey Wu's full moon, considering that she
Yeah.
is our resident Sagittarius.
Ah,
Yes. So I just want to thank you all again for joining me so that we could celebrate together and share a little bit with the community. Oh, Gwen is here. I know it's late for her over in the UK. I just have her join in too. But I wanted to share in a way for all of us just to say hello to everyone as a group. Hi, Gwen.
hi, Gwen.
Hi. Hi,
Good
Gwen.
evening.
Good
Um,
evening. Hi, everyone.
Hello, beauty. Well, I was thinking about, really the intention behind this, and we all know about the power of community. And when we all started on our own paths seeking whatever that looked like, how important it was to find people that we could talk to about what we were experiencing, people that we could learn from, and I'm sure, just like I experienced, many of you may have come across things that were very useful. Some things you're like, why did I do that? But, hopefully, this community, the podcast, and the website will give people just the safe space where they know they're going to meet some phenomenal teachers and practitioners like you all and learn from all of your beautiful contributions. So, I just wanted to start with Gwen. We didn't get to see you the other day. If you could just let everyone know who you are, where you're from, and what is your idea about that, about being able to share with community?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, sorry I missed our last gathering. But yeah, my name is Gwen Allison. I'm a Reiki master teacher and a life coach. Excuse me. And I've been practicing Reiki for 10 years and coaching for about 16 years. But yeah, I think definitely in terms of my idea of how important community is, I definitely know from my community and the people that reach out to me in my community via email or even in comments and Instagram, wherever it is, I think they finally feel, particularly in the spiritual community, they finally feel like they've landed somewhere
Yeah.
where they're understood, where they can finally heal. We kind of sometimes feel like it's really common that people should know about spirituality and know about meditation and know about different things like that. And it's actually not as common if you think about the day-to-day world and the world of work and the corporate world and things like that. So I think it's important that we've provided a space where people can sort of come and explore that side of themselves a little bit more. And as you said, learn from some wonderful teachers and just play with different modalities to, I guess, deepen their understanding of who they really are. So yeah, I think it's really important that this community is being created, and I thank you, Yolanda, for putting this all together and the hard work you've put into sort of making this happen. Really appreciate you for that.
Oh, honey, this is everything to me. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I was like, oh my gosh, we're all coming together. I can't wait to see what this is like. Um, just even working with community in this way, I've, worked by myself really in providing things for
Mhm.
community, but I never really worked within a community
Mhm.
in this way. So I'm very excited.
Mm.
Mother Ifatayo, could you let everyone know who you are, where you're from, and your thoughts about community?
Absolutely, I'd love to. I'm so grateful to be here. And I am Ife Taya White. I'm a Reiki master teacher and energy healer of all sorts. I've been practicing Reiki since the 90s, and I've been a Reiki teacher since 99. So I've been
Mm.
um, here for a while. And from Reiki, I have created, I have a mental health background also, and in addition to other backgrounds, but um, I have been able to create other programs to support particularly women in womb space healing. I call it healing of trauma memories that we carry in our bodies. So that's been my biggest latest offering. I'm also a birth doula, end of life doula, but now that I'm 80, I am I'm an elder doula, so I don't attend births any longer. Grateful. And but community is everything for me. I've created 3 Reiki clinics in South Carolina. I sort of create them and then turn them over to the newbies because I don't really need to practice like that. I practice every day with clients and students, but I love creating community. I also have a monthly um, community call with my Reiki that I've on my lineage. So every month we have a community call, and I'm always in community. I don't even know how not to be. So and I was introduced to Reiki in community in DC in a community. So for me, it's always been that way, and I'm grateful.
That
So
is so
thank you.
beautiful. Thank you, my
Thank you.
love. Thank you
Yeah,
for being here. I just want to
thank
say
you.
before we go on, hello to Melissa from New Zealand. Mother Fatayo, your beautiful daughter Jamila is here. Hello, love.
Oh,
We have Robert in the chat room too. Hello, hello, hello. And Ifalayo, please, Mother Ifalayo, if you could share with us where you are from and your connection to community, your thoughts about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yolanda, for this, and welcome everyone. I'm Eflaio Maxey, and I currently reside in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm originally from Ohio, and Reiki called me for many years before I answered. And I'm so grateful for its patience with me to allow me to go through my process before connecting. I was fortunate to have an amazing teacher who gave me many experiences to help me understand how universal Reiki is. And what I mean by that is I am a person, I came into Reiki in my 50s. And so it was like, what do I do with this? I'm also a priestess in an African spiritual tradition, and I wasn't sure where to place the Reiki. But Reiki showed me that I can do anything with it that I want to do it because it's the universal life force. And so I blend it with everything that I do, literally. Reiki is me, and I'm Reiki. And the more I do that, the more I find that how much it is really just truly the life force energy. And so I infuse it in all of my walks in life. My background is professionally is in education, primarily with people who have challenges in different aspects of life. So I worked with infants, toddlers for most of my career, and they taught me what spirit is really about. And helping me connect in that way. And as far as community, community is literally everything. And along with my friend Lainey Wu, who's also on here with us, we created a group called the Melanated Reiki Healers Collective because of our need for community and primarily looking at Reiki from a cultural perspective of what our unique needs are, because although we're all humans and we all have the same needs, there are those cultural differences that help us to understand our world better. And so community truly is a great thing because without it, you don't have the opportunity to grow as much as you would without it. So it really is important. Thank you.
Thank you. And the group is so beautiful. I can say, and you all know, I'm like, can we get that out a little more visible? Because I know some people waiting to connect with you. Thank you so much for saying yes and for being here. And to that, your co founder, Lainey Wu. How are you, my love? Could you tell us a little bit about you and your thoughts about community?
Yes,
Hi,
take
Adrian.
myself off of mute first. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I kind of ducked out of a meeting so I could be here because I'm so excited. Thank you to you, Yolanda, for um, giving us this platform to be here today. I, like many others who have spoken, Reiki called me, and I never expected it to blossom into what it's blossomed into. It's just beautiful. It ebbs and flows, it grows with you, it evolves. I'm a Reiki master as well. And I have been studying Reiki for the past 12 years and just really excited and just love the way that it grows with you. My blend, because everyone's talking about their blend with Reiki, which is another aspect that I love because you can blend it with anything that you're doing. I blend this with crystals. So I try to implement that in everyday things that I do, everything from opening up the door to sleeping at night. So I'm so excited to be a part of this. And I am excited to have the opportunity to share with you all of those things that I have learned and I'm still learning. So thank you. And
Yes.
community, I've done all of this in community. So community is just very beautiful. It's a very symbolic thing for me. It's a place where you can learn and love and be loved, just like here. So this is community to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, so beautiful. And I just want to say, because you reminded me, for everyone that is watching this, if you haven't tuned into Awakening Airwaves yet, go over to the YouTube channel Awakening Airwaves and be sure to subscribe. And you can also find the podcast on every podcast platform. So wherever you listen to Reiki Radio, now listen to Awakening Airwaves, please. And all of these beautiful humans are sharing shows with us. We have wisdom from the elders. They'll also be sharing with us some things individually. We have a podcast all about love and relationships and the authenticity within that from Gwen. We have Kayla and Kayla's other half, Rosalind, who's not with us right now. They have an incredible podcast exploring all the different layers of practice and making this practical and just what we bump against and what we learn along the way. We have Melinda up top, who we're going to hear from in just a moment, who is going to share so much with us about the blend of Greek mythology and how it really mirrors these beautiful journeys, these paths that we're on. And then we have Serena over in the other corner, and Serena is blending a lot of her energy work with oracle and sound healing. So there's so much for you all to learn, and I can't wait. Turtle is also part of our group. She's not here right now, but she will be providing astrological insights for all of us as a community at the start of every month. Woo! I think that's all the shows. So, popping over to Melinda, could you tell us a little bit about you, my love, and what community means to you?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm really happy to be part of this community. Community is like, I've grown up in really interesting communities, and without knowing it, Reiki later came in to kind of give me a revision of the way that I was actually informed by community growing up. So I grew up in the circus, which is a ring, it's literally community, of course, expressing life force energy, creativity. It's kind of functioning in a sacred way to bring people together, to show people the possibilities of our human design in terms of like even like body stuff, like what can we do? Look at the amazing things our bodies can do. The circus is, handstand, we can be upside down, we can do, just that kind of a thing. So that was a real, now as I've gotten into the Reiki, and I have transitioned and brought that into everything else that I've done, it's just given me this incredible lens into the power of what I already was experiencing and just didn't have words for it and didn't kind of see it in the way that now I can really understand and know it. And so I've actually been empowered by Reiki to really invest even more love into what it is that I already do. I also teach belly dance. My mom is a belly, I grew up in circles of women. I never really thought about what that meant because I was just, that's where I was born. I just came in, there was these circles of women dancing like snakes and moving energy and being together and laughing and spinning and being beautiful and and it's not that I took it for granted, but it was something that it just was like air. I was just breathing air and moving my body like that. Um, and again, so later in life, I've come sort of circled back and look at it all and go, oh my God, what a gift I was given. And now I can really, really thoughtfully reinvest back to my communities. I have a studio for belly dance, for circus arts, and also a back room where I do my Reiki practice now, which is a new endeavor since last year. I've been studying with Yolanda and part of the Alchemy Circle for over 5 years. That community has meant everything to me to be able to talk about all this stuff, to be able to share and be vulnerable with people who love you unconditionally. There is no better gift than a community like that, and I feel like that vibe is being invested into our awakening airwaves
Yeah.
situation here. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I'm so grateful too, Melinda. I mean, you just remind me hearing you say it of what a gift. It always feels like that we get to share, give back what it is that we're learning, what has worked, what has, even just being able to give that space for people to share what their experiences are. Because a lot of times, I don't know if you all encountered this, I did. But in the beginning, I was like, am I doing this right? Like, there were so many questions I had. I didn't know. I remember trying to force Reiki out of my hands, like, is this
Yes.
on? Like, oh,
Yes.
yes, right. And so it would have been so helpful back then to have a beautiful community that I could have learned from. So I'm so, so thankful that you all said yes to show up to share. And before we get to Rena, I just want to say hi to Vibi, who is joining us from Portugal, and Trina, who is joining us from Ohio. Hello. Hello, hello. Adrian is joining us from Florida. Yeah, we're all over the map. This is great. How about you, Serena?
Hello. So, when Melinda was talking about her childhood experiences, something that I just want to throw out that I'm not sure if anyone's aware of from my share previously, but I actually had my first holistic modalities experience was in my mom's massage therapy school when I was very young, so at the age of 7 or 8. So, Melinda, when you were talking about that with your childhood, I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely relate because I wish I didn't take it all for granted. I really enjoyed it. But then as soon as I hit my teen years, I was like out. So it's now taken me this long. I'm now in my 40s and it's kind of like, going into my 40s that late 30s into 40s that I start to come back around again. But so I love to play around with energy. I have taken Reiki training and sound practitioner training along with many other healing modalities. I have found for me personally, that it's been helpful trying to work it into the regular daily life, the mundane, having, busy life with the kiddos and stuff, and trying to find those, peaceful moments that are difficult at times when the house is like crazy and going nuts. So that's where I really find it's been helpful for me in sharing with others too, is how can we find those amazing spiritual peaceful, beautiful moments and kind of move them out into the world and share it with others too. I used to work a very crazy corporate background for about 15 and a half years, and I just left that a year ago. So I'm very excited about this new direction that I've been, following the breadcrumbs to, and excited to see how it evolves. Yeah, I do intuitive card readings as well. I love that. I love collecting cards, and I love playing with crystals too, lady. So yeah, I'm very excited to talk to you about that. But yeah, I'm very excited to be with this group and see where it takes us all and share and all of it. So thank you.
Thank you, my love. Listening to everyone, and we're about to get to Kay, listening to everyone is just making me think again of like the diversity of this group and how we all have had such interesting life experiences and the different flavors that will all bring, the different lenses that will all bring to what is shared through Awakening Airwaves. So, again, I am deeply grateful and so excited for whatever this is going to be. So for everyone tuning in, just so that you know, Awakening Airwaves just launched today. That is our new podcast platform. And all of these beautiful women are hosts of shows on Awakening Airwaves. So be sure to follow on your favorite podcast platform and here on YouTube so that you can learn from all of them as we journey forward. And today's first episode, well, I guess technically second because Turtles Energy of the Month did launch on June 4th. But the other podcast that launched today was Seek and Surrender. And that is co hosted with Kay and Roslyn. So, Kay, could you tell everyone a little bit about you and what community means to you or how it's been on your journey?
Yeah, of course. So I feel like community is kind of new for me in a way because throughout my journey, I've been kind of navigating alone more so. But community has been so rich and empowering, and I'm learning a lot about myself, ironically, being a part of a community. And this collective has come together so organically, and I have a lot to learn. And I'm grateful to be here from and learn from all of you. Um, Reiki has always been a part of my life, and I've studied it more deeply recently and still learning. And that's kind of what our podcast is about, is just learning and navigating.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, I know I mentioned this when you and Rosalind came on Reiki Radio, but Kay is like, don't get mad at me for saying it this way, but a master manifester, and I'm not exaggerating. And they do have an episode all about that next month. So you don't want to miss it. Mark your calendar for that episode. You're going to learn a lot. Yeah. So, again, I just want to thank all of you for saying yes to contribute to being part of this. I'm really excited with what else there is to come. So, one of the things I also wanted to share with everyone joining us today, and hello to Catherine from South Carolina. I wanted to let you all know that in addition to the podcast, there is a website called The Reiki Class, and you can find practitioners, teachers, upcoming events. I know everyone on the screen has things that they are offering. There are lots of things upcoming. I know Lainey Wu has several classes, Reiki and crystal healing, that you can do online. Mother Ifatayo has womb healing classes that are coming up. Gwen also has all of her Reiki class dates that are coming up. If you want to study with Gwen, just side note, she is in the UK. She has some online offerings, but her official Reiki classes are there in London. So there are just so many beautiful things that you can get from this community, and it's just wild to me to even say it and even think about it. I just don't even know what to do. So just wanted to ask all of you, is there anything that you're looking forward to, or did you have some advice for people who might be just now finding this community, ways to work their practice? What has really helped you on your path? And how do you feel about this, like continuing our education? How has that helped you with your energy work? I know I asked you 10 things, but whatever stands out.
I'll share.
Well, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Who is it?
Yep, mother and filial, yes.
Yes, as far as what's helped me the most is one of the things when I first started studying Reiki was my instructor was very intent on focus on yourself. You know, focus on yourself, find out what Reiki really means to you. How do you connect with your Reiki? Because it's different for each of us. And that was so inspiring to me because when I first answered the call of Reiki, it was like, I don't need one more thing to do for somebody else. What about me? And
Mhm.
so when that's how she grabbed my attention with that. And so she was very intent on me developing my personal practice to give me that solid foundation and understanding who I am and what Reiki means to me. And I found over the years that working with students, it's been the most important thing is to start my classes. I focus on yourself. You never have to share your Reiki with anyone else if you choose not to. This is just for you. And then if you evolve to the place where you find that you can choose to share it with someone else, you'll be most helpful to them because you got to understand what the Reiki means to you. So that's been the thing for me that was most important with Reiki. And I also work with, do a lot of teaching with children and teens. And so that's my focus with them as well. It's all about you. Connect with the energy of who you are so that you can express yourself authentically in the world and you can read the world and understand what those messages are coming back to you.
I wanted to actually ask you about that. I'm so glad you mentioned it because, a lot of people in this community end up having this call to either work with children or young adults or teenagers. And some people, it wouldn't even, I guess, cross their mind. They wouldn't know necessarily how this would be supportive for the younger generations. But could you share a little bit of how this does support them, like the techniques within the system and these sorts of things?
Yes, and I think it comes from my background in education. But for children, it's so important for them to understand how their emotions work and what they mean and connect with that, so that they can begin to understand what it means to be grounded,
Mm.
in themselves. And that way, when they encounter other people in situations where they feel insecure, unsure of themselves. Maybe they're having some issues with bullying, or maybe they live in a household where things are chaotic. They can know how to go within and connect and ground. That is very, very important. And even for those children who are fortunate enough to have, a home life where they feel loved and supported, it's important for them to understand you don't have to just count on mom, dad, or whoever your guardian is to help you to feel good about yourself, that you can do that for yourself so that when you're away. And I work a lot, I've mentioned with children that, your neurodiverse children and my own grandson as well. And I find that by using Reiki to help them to integrate their energies, it helps them with focus. It helps them also with managing their emotions and just everything, really. I remember early on working with a young man that I think he was 9 when his grandmother, who happened to be one of my Reiki students, asked me if I could help him. And I said, yeah. And so he was very highly, easily agitated. And so working with him with breathing techniques and helping him to know he can lay his hands on himself and that kind of thing was very, very helpful. Also with teens, quick little story that just illustrates better than I can speak it. I had a young lady, she was 16. She took Reiki 1 and 2 along with her mom. And she called me one day all excited and she says, Lyle, she says, I passed my test and that teacher doesn't even like me. And I said, really? What helped you most? She said, I put chocolate all over my paper. And it really helped me to connect. And I said, wow, that is so awesome. So, just teaching them things that can help them to feel the energy in everything and an energy in every situation. It's just very much helpful. And I just sometimes I think about, gosh, if I had had that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
it'd be the bomb. But I find that Reiki, as much as it helps us as adults, it's even more helpful for children, for teenagers going through all the changes that they go through in life.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking when you were saying it. Like, goodness, how fortunate we all would have been to have something like this available at that time because of all of the changes that we're going through and something to help us regulate all of the, even the hormonal shifts, let alone trying to feel a sense of belonging and who are we? And wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And I think, Rena, you were going to share something.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me personally, because I went into so many different trainings and healing modalities, it really was this little, kind of picking what really called to me and called to my spirit and soul, and then working that into my life. And that's been really helpful because that's stuff that I've been able to take into my home and take out into the world. And one thing that has really been very helpful for me in the last year especially has been turning it back onto me as far as self-care, because that was something that for a while my balance was off, taking care of my family and working a full-time job, for as long as I did and all that. And so it's been nice kind of steering that back to me as far as being able to now redistribute my energy again in a healthy way versus where I was giving a little too much and
Yeah,
not able to really have it reel back in. So
that's really incredible. Isn't it interesting how much we do start to recognize when we do this work? I think a lot of times when we come into it, we may have whatever the catalyst, like mine was. I was going through a layoff. I was trying just to learn how to deal with this new experience of anxiety. I never would have imagined I'd be sitting here with all of you and having these kind of discussions, right? But the way that it opens us up is you can't even imagine what the experience of Reiki, meditation, all of these beautiful practices will really be. Anyone else, any insights or suggestions for people who may be wondering how to best help themselves in this work or on this path?
I have an
Well,
idea.
I can share.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, just I will share briefly, I hope, through my own experience. One phrase that I love to share is Reiki has its way with you. And I just believe that so deeply. Um, I also was not seeking Reiki. I actually shunned the invitation to become Reiki when my friends were being attuned in the 80s. It took me 10 years to finally say yes. But many of my friends in DC and our community were becoming Reiki, and I didn't feel drawn. I felt I had good energy because I was always very sensitive and touch and intuitive, but and I never expected to teach. So I was gifted Reiki 1 and 2 because my friend who had been Reiki felt that it would help me. So when I was for my 50th birthday, I was attuned Reiki 1 and 2, and within months. And then one of her students needed someone to attune for Reiki 3. So I was gifted Reiki 3. I told her I don't plan to teach. That's not my plan. I was a massage therapist at the time and a reflexologist, and I loved it. But here I am now. I was the first teacher in this community, and I teach every week. I teach individuals. I've never had the I was never guided to have classes. I prefer to teach one or two folks, and every week I'm teaching one or two folks, and I love that. I love that personal way. But I am a teacher, and I can't even separate myself from that, and I cannot separate myself from Reiki. Reiki is my life, and when I say that, I don't mean that I don't have a life, because I certainly do. But as I said, Reiki has its way with you. So for me, and I teach my students, and I also have a mentoring program. I forgot to say that. And I'm really, um, my intention is for us all to become more and more intimate with our true selves, to know who we truly are, to really investigate, go deep, and to have our essences revealed so that we can show up authentic and serve authentically. And so for me, Reiki does that. Reiki will have its way with you. Once you step into that space and become attuned, you have surrendered yourself to the Reiki intelligence. And so it's not just, when we're sharing Reiki with clients, that intelligence, of course, comes forward. But that intelligence is also working in us all the time once we have become attuned. So the more attunements we have, the more one we are with that essence and our true selves and the intelligence. So I just love my daily life that way, and knowing that I am growing, I am expanding, and it will never stop because I am Reiki, and Reiki is me. So it can't stop. It just always grows.
That's your
Yes,
other famous line. I am Reiki and Reiki is me.
yeah,
That should be
that's
on
my
your
other favorite.
wall.
Yeah,
Yes. No, but
yeah,
what you say, it is so beautiful. And for anyone, especially if you're new or just curious about Reiki,
yes,
I know some of this might sound kind of like, what are they really saying? It really is kind of one of those things, though, too, that you have to experience
experience.
for yourself.
Absolutely.
And then
Yeah,
you won't be able to articulate even yourself how to describe what it is that you encounter.
yeah.
Thank you for that, my love. And how about you, Melinda? What were we going to share?
Yes, very briefly, just for people who are just sort of dipping their toe into this and curious, to trust yourself and your questions and to give yourself permission to explore. And, many things, there's all different flavors out there in the world to explore, and don't have to get permission from other people. You don't even have to run it by other people. You can kind of try it for yourself and develop that relationship with yourself where you give that permission and you love yourself enough to explore, and there's no wrong or there's no right. You're just like looking and trying, and there's a lot of free resources even now on the Reiki class. I was just looking through the website and I see that people are offering meditations, and I know on everybody's site there's usually some free offerings, and you can just explore so much with just that, and then try things that you didn't, I don't know, that you've never done before. Go out of your comfort zone a little bit and just see and open your mind, because once you do that, you might be surprised and, excited and become more energized and curious, and I bet you won't stop. That's
Yeah.
I bet you won't stop. Listen, Melinda, when I met her 5 years ago, I think it was, she joined us in the Alchemy Circle and she had never taken a Reiki class. And so she came in and she was skeptical and she was like, I don't know, maybe I'm intuitive, maybe maybe. And then she ended up, in the community, making friends with people within the community. She did Reiki classes. And then more recently, she came out to San Diego for a Reiki retreat. But I mean, look, 5 years later, it's funny, even watching our own development of all of us, if we
Mhm.
think back to who we were 5, 10 years ago to where we are now, it's unbelievable. And I wanted to check in with Gwen. I know it's late for you. Thank you so much for showing up to join us, my love. Do you have any advice for people who may be new seekers?
Yeah, I think definitely commit if you can to a sort of 21-day daily practice, because as everyone's been saying here, Reiki will show up differently for everybody. A lot of us initially, and I know I was very kind of left-brained, very kind of analytical. So initially didn't feel as much. But the more I did my daily Reiki, the more I started to understand a bit more about me, started to feel more energy. And as the other ladies have said, you start to subtly see the changes in you, which then affects the people around you. And it does cover all bases, not just any physical ailments, but how you think about things, the ideas that you get, the way you start to perceive things. And so just committing to that 21-day practice, which happens when you have, if anyone doesn't know you who's watching this, you have your attunement, and then you go through this 21-day sort of cleansing process, detoxification process. And so the antidote to that is to do your self-healing of self-Reiki. But also understanding that doesn't have to be the 12 hand positions. It can be 5 minutes on your heart chakra, 5 minutes on your forehead or your third eye or your solar plexus if you're anxious. So doing that 21 days your way, but at least connecting daily with Reiki. And then, you know, you'll find that, you know, as Melinda was saying, you probably don't want to stop, because it will just open up so much for you. And that, coupled with the Reiki precepts, the Reiki principles, which gives us great guidance for our daily life today. It's so relevant today, even though this was kind of 100 years old. It's so relevant for us now. So yeah, I think just saying to people, give it a chance. There'll be a lot that happens in the classroom that feels really strong. And then when you're practicing on your own, it feels a lot subtler sometimes initially for some of us. So just keep going and give it that sort of 21 days before you kind of make a decision about it. But I think in that time, more and more things will come up for you to help you understand that this is a really beautiful path to take, or thing to keep exploring and going deeper in. As you know, it's been said tonight, it just keeps on giving. It doesn't stop. Even at 80, it doesn't stop.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I think that would be my main advice. Just keep going with the daily practice if you can. Keep dipping into it.
Yeah, that's such good advice. I can't tell you how many people I've met that say, "Oh yeah, I was attuned 10 years ago, but I don't know," because they never practiced after the class. And
Yeah.
really, I think it was Mother Fatayo, someone said, I mean, really what you put in is what you're going to get back. And so no matter how long ago, even if you stepped away before, just return to some form of practice, and you'll notice that the more regular you are, the deeper you go into connection, and you start to build your own relationship to you and energy. It's absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
Before we go, Kay, do you have any advice for new seekers?
I think once you kind of open yourself up to it, it does become a constant in your life, and it's something that you can't really get away from, you know? So, I mean, even if you miss a few days, like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just make sure you always come back to it, because it will be a constant. And it's so beneficial when you do realize how easier it is to navigate once you are consistent. It just makes things easier. Sometimes, even for me, I'll wait until my absolute breaking point to go and meditate, you know? So just doing it every day, it's a world of difference. So just
It
being
really,
consistent.
yeah, the consistency is key. And I think maybe Lainey Wu said earlier too, my love, about someone said about implementing into daily life. But I mean, it's wild how much this is. It's not just when you're alone practicing in a corner or in a session, it really is how you express in all things that you do. Lainey Wu,
Yeah.
please, my love, what do you have for us?
So many people, all you ladies had so many good jewels on the things that you said. I'm like, yeah, and that too in my head. So I'm gonna piggyback a little bit and then add, I definitely love Reiki for that built-in self-love, self-healing element. Like Mother Lyle said, it forces you to concentrate on yourself. And for people who that's never been a thing, that is monumental. So that part, so I would encourage people to take the time and dedicate that to yourself, make that a part of your self-love, getting to know yourself in the Reiki. And so many things will be revealed to you in that. But also I wanted to say, Lyle, Mother Effin Lyle was my teacher, and she always encouraged us to have like a Reiki buddy or somebody you could partner with, someone that you could call when freaky stuff happened. So I did that. And sometimes I didn't have a Reiki buddy, so I would call her. And that's another thing I'd say, make sure that you surround yourself with people that will love you, that will be here to listen to all of your crazy stories and tell you you're not crazy. Because just really quickly, I was running around a lake and I had these birds that would attack me. And I was trying to figure out like what to do, because I'm like, I don't want to hurt the birds, you know, but I don't want to be attacked every time I pass them. So I decided to like send them Reiki. And so when I did it, something flew out of my hand one time. And I was like, what in the world? So I called her and she wasn't like, you're crazy. She was like,
Right.
that's amazing. Oh my God, I think that was a chi ball. Like we had a whole conversation about it. So that would be another thing that I would advise people to do. Have a friend that you can call and talk to, not just about the freakish things or wild things, but like when you're down in the dumps and you need someone to kind of lift you up, you know, in the Reiki. So yeah.
That's a really, really good one. And the thing is, too, I think a lot of us, like we said before, a lot of people, we don't have people in our just day to day life who we can talk to about not just these practices, but a lot of us aren't even used to just sharing and being vulnerable about having a hard day. And so that is something so beautiful about this community because it also starts to teach us how to be more vulnerable and how to be okay in our processes of healing and not thinking something's wrong or it's supposed to be pretty all the time. Like you really have such a beautiful family of support in being part of this community. It's very interesting. Does anyone else have anything coming up off the top of your mind from your heart that you want to share before we go? If any of you in the chat room have any questions, hurry, hurry, type it fast. Um, and also, as a reminder to everyone, you can follow Awakening Airwaves, the podcast platform that all of these beautiful women are now a part of. It's here on YouTube. Just type in Awakening Airwaves. I think it's in the show description as well. Follow the channel so you'll always know when new episodes are being released. You can also find all of us on the reikiclass.com, which is a website that features all of us and some other teachers and practitioners as well. And you can find classes and upcoming events. There's even free resources, free events. There's all across the board and various types of trainings that you will find there. And I just wanted us to have a space where we know we could find some reputable teachers and trust in what it is that we are signing up for. So go to the Reiki class and check everyone out. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything coming up before we go? Or oh, Gwen is like, let me go to bed. No? Okay, well, please do also, when you go to the Reiki class website, you will find the way to connect with all of these beauties. Mother Ifanlayo, I actually need your information to put on there right after this, so we can connect with you as well. We have in the chat room, Danetta says, thank you all to all of you ladies for all you do and for the new platforms you've worked so hard to support us with. Much love. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing with us. Yeah, this means the world. So go to the website, follow everyone, reach out. You can email us, ask questions, whatever you like. You can also catch weekly episodes. So the podcast, there will be new episodes for you all every Wednesday and Friday. So, I mean, you got a lot to learn. Yeah. Anybody else before we go today? No? All right, Buttercups. Well, we will see you all soon. If you are joining me in a couple of hours, I am doing the 3 Jewels activation at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. The link for that is in the show description as well. Outside of that, happy full moon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see all of you very soon. Bye for now.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Yolanda. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Did it stop the live stream? Does anybody know?
The little thing went away that was in my upper right. That was
Okay.
said YouTube, so I'm assuming it probably did.
So we're off. So let me stop recording.